My name is Lauren Mitchell, and for most of my life, I believed family always came first. At least, that's what my mother used to say. So when I was planning my wedding, I never imagined she would be the one person who wouldn't show up. 3 weeks before the ceremony, my mom called me. Her voice sounded excited, too excited. "Sweetheart," she said, "I just got an amazing opportunity. A luxury trip to Hawaii. All expenses paid." I smiled at first. "That's great, Mom. When is it?" There was a pause. "The same week as your wedding." I laughed, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. She calmly told me she wouldn't be attending my wedding because this trip was once in a lifetime. She said I'd understand someday. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just said, okay. But inside, something broke. The wedding day. I walked down the aisle without my mother. No tears from her. No proud smile. No hug. Instead, she posted beach photos on social media, cocktails, sunsets, smiling selfies. I muted her. I married the love of my life that day, surrounded by people who actually chose me. And I decided something important. Backhand index pointing out I was done chasing approval. 3 days later. At 6:30 in the morning, there was loud knocking on my door. Not normal knocking. Screaming. "Open this door right now." It was my mother. She looked exhausted. No makeup. No confidence. Just panic. The Hawaii trip? It turned out to be a scam. Her friend disappeared. Her credit cards were maxed out. Her return ticket? Fake. She lost her job for taking sudden leave. And she had nowhere to stay. She was crying, yelling, demanding I help her. "You're my daughter," she screamed. "You owe me." I took a deep breath. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty. The choice. I told her calmly. "I needed you once. You chose a vacation. Now I choose my peace." I gave her the number of a hotel and a counselor. Then I closed the door. I thought closing the door would end it. I was wrong. That same evening, my phone started blowing up. Unknown numbers. Voicemails. Messages from relatives I hadn't heard from in years. "Your mother is homeless. How could you do this to her? She gave birth to you." By midnight, the guilt started creeping in. So the next morning, I made a mistake. I let her in. The second chance. My mom arrived with 2 suitcases and 0 gratitude. She didn't say sorry. She didn't ask how my wedding was. The first thing she said? "Where's the guest room?" That's when I realized. She hadn't changed. She criticized my house. My husband. My life. And then she dropped the real reason she came back. She needed money. A lot of it. The truth comes out. During dinner, she finally admitted everything. The Hawaii trip wasn't just a scam. She had borrowed money from multiple people, using my wedding as the excuse. "She's getting married, I need help," she had told them. Now they were calling me. That's when my husband stood up and said something I'll never forget. "This stops today." The boundary. We gave her 2 options. Keycap 1, stay for 2 weeks, follow house rules, start fixing her life. Keycap 2, leave immediately. No guilt. No manipulation. No control. She laughed. "You won't kick out your own mother." She was wrong. The moment everything changed. When she realized we were serious, her face changed. Not sadness. Fear. Because for the first time in her life, she had no power over me. She packed her bags in silence. Before leaving, she turned around and said, "You'll regret this." I didn't answer. I thought kicking her out would be the end. It was just the beginning. 2 days later, my husband's phone rang. Then mine. Then my inbox exploded. My mother was calling everyone. She told people I was abusive. That my husband controlled me. That I had changed after marriage. None of it was true. But lies spread fast when they sound emotional. The setup. One afternoon, my husband came home early. He looked calm, too calm. "She called my boss," he said. That's when I felt sick. She told him my husband was unstable. That our marriage was a mistake. That he should keep an eye on me. That was her plan. Break us. So I'd come running back. The proof she forgot. What my mother didn't know was simple. She had left her old phone at our house. Messages. Voicemails. screenshots, everything. We had proof of her lies, her fake stories, her money manipulation, all in her own words. The moment of truth. Instead of arguing, we did something smarter. We sent the evidence to the relatives, to the people she borrowed money from, to the ones she lied to. No insults, no drama, just facts. Silence followed. Karma didn't wait long. 3 days later, she showed up again. No screaming this time. Crying. Begging. She said everyone had turned against her. That she was being misunderstood. I looked at her and felt nothing. Not anger. Not hate. Just clarity. The final boundary. I said one sentence. You tried to ruin my marriage. This is where it ends. I gave her a list of shelters and legal aid. Then I blocked her. Everywhere. For weeks, there was silence. No calls. No messages. No drama. I thought she was gone for good. Then one afternoon, I got a message from an unknown number. Please. I need to talk. Just once. Against my better judgment. I agreed. The meeting. We met at a small cafe across town. My mother looked different. Smaller. Tired. Defeated. No designer clothes. No confidence. She didn't sit down right away. She just stood there and whispered. I ruined everything. The truth she hid for years. She finally admitted it. She had always needed attention. Always needed control. My wedding wasn't about me to her. It was about losing her place in my life. Hawaii wasn't the reason, she said quietly. I just didn't want to see you choose someone else. That sentence hurt more than anything else she'd done. Accountability, not excuses. For the first time, she didn't blame anyone. Not me. Not my husband. Not fate. She admitted she used guilt as a weapon. Love as leverage. And now, it had cost her everything. My answer. She asked if she could come back. Not to my house. To my life. I took a deep breath and said, I forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't mean access. She cried. I didn't. The new rules. I offered help, but with boundaries. Therapy. Financial responsibility. No contact with my marriage. If she chose that path, maybe, someday, we could talk again. If not, this was goodbye. 3 years passed. No calls. No messages. No surprises. Life became calm in a way I never thought possible. My marriage grew stronger. Our home filled with laughter. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't waiting for my mother's approval. Then one morning, a letter arrived. No return address. Just my name. The letter. Inside was handwriting I recognized instantly. It read, I don't expect forgiveness. I don't even expect a reply. I only want you to know this. I was wrong. I confused control with love. And by the time I understood the difference, I had already lost you. I'm getting help now. Not to come back into your life. But so I never hurt anyone the way I hurt you. I hope your home is full of peace. I hope your heart is light. And I hope you never doubt that choosing yourself was the right thing. Mom. My reaction. I didn't cry. Not because I felt nothing, but because I finally felt free. I folded the letter carefully and placed it in a drawer. Not as a wound, but as proof that I survived. The final lesson. Some parents teach you how to love. Others teach you how to set boundaries. Both are lessons. But only one brings peace. Final ending. I stepped outside, felt the sun on my face, and smiled. Not because the past was fixed, but because it no longer controlled me. And that was enough. A few months after the letter, something unexpected happened. I ran into my mother's old friend at the grocery store. She looked surprised to see me. I heard about your mom, she said carefully. I didn't panic. I didn't feel angry. I just listened. What I learned. My mother had moved to a different city. She was attending therapy regularly. She had a small job. A quiet life. No drama. No stories. No manipulation. For the first time, she wasn't trying to be the center of anyone's world. And strangely, that gave me peace. The question everyone asks. People often ask me now, do you miss her? My answer is simple. I miss the mother I needed, not the one I had. And that truth doesn't hurt anymore. The real healing. Healing didn't happen when she apologized. Healing didn't happen when she suffered. Healing happened the day I stopped needing her to change. The day I chose myself without guilt. 1 year later, something happened that tested everything I had learned. I found out I was pregnant. The news was joyful, beautiful, and terrifying. Because one question hit me harder than anything before. Would I ever let my mother meet my child? The old fear. For a moment, the past came rushing back. Her control, her guilt, her manipulation. I was scared of repeating history, scared of becoming weak again. So I talked to my husband. He listened quietly, then said, "Our child will never grow up watching you get hurt." That was my answer. The decision. I didn't reach out. Not out of revenge. Not out of anger. But out of responsibility. Because protecting my child mattered more than fixing a broken past. A quiet message. Months later, I received another letter. Shorter this time. "I heard you're going to be a mother. I won't ask to be part of it. Just know, I hope you become everything I wasn't." I cried. Not from pain. From relief. Breaking the cycle. When my baby was born, I held them close and made a silent promise. No guilt is love. No control is care. No fear disguised as family. The cycle ended with me. 2 years after my child was born, I got a phone call I had always expected and feared. My mother was in the hospital. She wasn't dying, but she was alone. The nurse asked if I was family. I paused. Then I said yes. The visit. I went once. Not to reopen wounds. Not to fix the past. Just to close the chapter properly. She looked older. Softer. Smaller than I remembered. When she saw me, her eyes filled with tears. "I'm not here to stay," I said gently. "I just wanted you to know I'm okay." She nodded. That was enough. The words that healed me. She whispered, "I'm proud of you. Not because you forgave me, but because you didn't lose yourself." Those words did what years of apologies never could. They freed me. No rewrites. I didn't bring my child. I didn't exchange numbers. I didn't promise future visits. Because closure doesn't mean access. It means acceptance. Walking away, one last time. As I left the room, she said, "You broke the cycle." I didn't look back. Not out of anger. But because I finally didn't need to. If you're still here, listening to my story, there's a reason. Because some part of it feels familiar. Maybe you've been the child who was always expected to understand. Maybe you were told to forgive, even when no one apologized. Maybe you learned early that love came with conditions. This story isn't just mine. It's yours too. What no one tells you. People will say, "But she's your mother." But family is everything. But you'll regret it. What they don't tell you is this. Backhand index pointing right, you can honor your parents. Backhand index pointing right without sacrificing yourself. Love should never require self-destruction. The truth about healing. Healing isn't loud. It doesn't always come with apologies or reunions. Sometimes healing looks like distance, silence, choosing peace over chaos. And that's okay. To the ones still struggling. If you're watching this and wondering whether it's okay to step back, hear this. You are not cruel. You are not ungrateful. You are not broken. You are learning to protect your heart. Years passed quietly. Not the kind of quiet that feels empty. The kind that feels safe. My child grew. My marriage deepened. And my life finally belonged to me. Then one day, during a family gathering, someone asked me a simple question. "How did you learn to be such a calm parent?" I paused. And then I smiled. The answer. "I learned it the hard way," I said. By knowing exactly what I didn't want to pass on. Pain can repeat itself. But it can also end. That choice is ours. A small moment that meant everything. One night, my child accidentally broke something valuable. They looked at me scared. Waiting for anger. Waiting for guilt. I knelt down and said, "It's okay. Are you hurt?" In that moment, I felt it. The cycle was truly broken. What became of my mother? I heard updates sometimes. She stayed in therapy. She stayed quiet. She stayed away. And strangely, that distance became her final act of love. Not intrusion. Not control. Respect. The legacy. My child will grow up knowing. Love doesn't scare. Mistakes don't cost affection. Boundaries don't mean abandonment. That is the legacy I chose. Final words of the entire story. Some people teach you how to be strong. Others teach you why you must be. This story isn't about revenge. It's about release. And if you're still listening, may you choose peace. May you choose growth. May you choose yourself. Without guilt.